When I started playing Unravel 2 with my wife, I didn't expect that we will end up speedrunning most of its levels. This is a very pleasant short game to play with a friend or a family member. But I am not a casual gamer. My completionist soul urges me to try to get as many achievements as I can. And well, Unravel 2 has some achievements tied to speedrunning. So, without much thought, I grabbed my wife and told her that we are gonna speedrun Unravel. How it worked out? To the other.
Whoa! Yeah.
As don't tilt. Just do it again. Okay. He's in the right place.
No, it's not.
Okay. Okay, we're going. If what you have seen seems interesting, then let me introduce you to the late review Unravel 2. This review is based on 21 hours of playtime, completing the game in single player mode as well as co-op with my wife, completing every bonus level, acquiring golden medals in each level, acquiring 27 out of 28 achievements, which translates into 96% achievement completion for the game. So let's swing the rope into colorful world of Unravel 2. Let's start with the plot. Unravel 2 tells the story of two yarnies. During a storm they fall into a water and get washed ashore. They connect their yarns, making them dependent on the other one. The story is very non-specific and open for interpretation. It's similar to the first game where we were exploring the memories from the diary. There is no voice acting, we are not told what's happening. The game shows us imagery and events and does not force any conclusions upon player. So, in Unravel 2 there are two storylines. The first one is Yarnies chasing a spark, and that's pretty much all there is to this narrative. On their adventure, Yarnies will discover a lighthouse which will be the hub for our journeys, but the main goal of each level will be chasing the spark. Then there is a second storyline. Each level also tells a story in its background. This is a story of two children or teenagers. We cannot be very specific since all of those characters are hidden in a misty veil, suggesting dissonance between Yarnies and human characters. Like they are not in the same plane of existence, or just that we can see them but they cannot see us. It's never explained. Our actions as Yarnies will influence the adventures of the kids though. Now, after finishing the game, I have searched the internet for some information about the story. I had my own interpretation, but I wanted to know more about the plot and the design decisions behind it. I found out an interview with one of the developers. They said that the story is supposed to be open for interpretation so that anyone can see it through different lenses. Children part of the narrative is created to reflect team's childhood memories, feelings, stories and fears. That's an interesting and commendable approach. I found the early parts of children's narrative arc to be very relatable. The first level starts at a corridor in a school, orphanage or maybe a foster home. The first kid runs away from older children, maybe from adults. The second child offers an escape route through the window. This is the start of children's adventure. They run into the hideout at the attic of some building where they feel safe. They can be alone and freely do whatever interests them. I found that endearing because I was quite a shy kid. I learned how to talk to people and how to be social at around 15-16 years old. Anyway, as a kid I often escaped into the world of video games or to drawing just to be creative. This was my childhood hideout. Seeing this kind of stuff in Unravel 2 made me sympathetic to this way of storytelling. So how I would interpret the children's story? In my opinion, this is a tale about kids growing up, facing their fears, maturing. They start as an outcast, interested in their own thing, learning about the world. They do experience both positive and negative aspects of life, discover beauty and ugliness. They make mistakes and then face the consequences, but in the end they grow up to face their fears. I am going to say that both Yarnies and children's stories show that the support of the right person can go a long way in achieving our goals. You might say that I overanalyze it, but since it's a story open for interpretation, This is how I see it. Your interpretation might be vastly different. When I scoured the internet for the information about the plot, I found a user on Reddit who claimed that this is a story set in zombie apocalypse, where the kids run away from zombies. So, different people, different interpretations. Unravel 2 is not a very complicated game. The controls are easy to learn. Everything works pretty much the same as it did in the previous title. The main difference is of course the addition of the second journey. I would say that this is a perfect adventure to play in co-op, but the game is designed in a way where it can be played and completed in single player mode. Playing the game alone, you just have a choice to switch between journeys, even if one of them is currently holding a rope or swinging. Then there is a way to connect two characters into one to make it easier to travel from one puzzle to another or to navigate through harder platforming sections. Also keep in mind that every puzzle and every area is designed in a way that allows a single player to complete it, which is a great design choice. There is also a great fluidity to the gameplay. Swinging and jumping feels very responsive and has a certain rhythm to itself. The puzzles in the game are well thought out. They are not very hard, yet they are engaging and interesting. This is not a long game. If you plan to only do main levels, then it might take about 5-6 hours to complete. Then there are completionist challenges, collectibles and bonus levels. Challenges are tied to medals in each level. There is a medal for finishing a level without dying, and a set of medals, bronze, silver and gold, which are tied to completing a level in required time frames. Bonus levels are very short and could be split into two categories, the puzzle levels and the gauntlets. In puzzle levels, players just need to figure out a way to get through obstacles. It usually will require playing with different ways of using the rope that connects the two journeys in order to complete the challenge. The gauntlet levels are the hard ones. They require a precise maneuvers, usually in a quick succession, one after another. In other words, they require players to get good. I like that the main portion of the game is designed to be quite doable to players of various skills. Of course, there are still some harder sections, but the hardest challenges are hidden in the bonus levels. Another great design choice. The game looks and sounds really good. Music is soft and non-invasive. There are brief moments when the tempo picks up, usually in order to emphasize some dangerous sections of gameplay. Graphics are solid. I like that there is usually no problem in spotting points where we can attach our rope or tie a knot. There is even a dim, fuzzy, circular indicator showing players at which distance they can reach the point with the rope. The backgrounds and views are beautiful. Animations just add into the experience. If we have enough momentum during jumping or swinging on ropes, then our characters will do backflips, which just adds into their cuteness. It's like journeys are those playful spirits. They cheer each other and congratulate themselves when they complete the challenge. Our journeys can be customized. Player can change their colors, head styles and body types. At first the customization is a little bit limited. In order to unlock new options, players need to complete bonus levels. Unravel 2 is a very polished game. In my 21 hours spent in game, I encountered close to no bugs and I haven't got a single crash. There's this issue with the game switching into windowed mode when you alt-tab and then it does not want to go back to full screen. You need to restart it. We played Unravel on both keyboard and controller. Both of those options worked really well and were very responsive. There's a problem when you want to play via online connection, not local co-op. You see, when you connect with a friend through online play, it does not matter whether both of you use different PCs. The game will force one player to use controller or it won't be possible for both of you to play. This issue should have been resolved long ago. It's bad. Other than that, I would say that the game's physics engine can sometimes create weird situations. There is a section where you need to knock down the wall. One brick from the top of that wall will then be usable as a counterweight on a plank below. The problem is that this brick sometimes tends to clip through the plank. In normal playthrough it's not a problem, since you can just push the brick through the plank and then back onto it. It does take about 15 seconds to do so, which becomes a problem during a speedrun with tight time frames. I know that this is a very specific and minor issue, but still I noticed it, so I'm pointing it out. And of course this is an Electronic Arts game, which means that it requires an Origin account. So just buying it on Steam is not enough. It fucking bugged out, you see?
No.
And that's the run for us.
No.
Yes, that's the run.
Fuck.
As it is a tradition in this series, I am going to check out the latest 100, maybe 200 recent Steam reviews. A reminder, I do not perceive my opinion as superior, I just want to see what other people think about the game. Any well-argumented thought is worth considering. So, at the time of making this video, Unravel 2 sits at a score of 84% positive reviews out of more than 2200 Steam reviews. Let's start with the general opinions. Most of the positive reviews tend to focus on a wonderful cooperative experience. Users recommend playing this game with a friend, spouse or kids, which is a great recommendation and I wholeheartedly agree. Even if your gaming skills vary from each other, there are numerous ways to help the other player so it's a pleasant and wholesome experience. There are many reviews of parents enjoying the game with their kids. I love the fact that Unravel 2 can help strengthen family bonds. Numerous people praise the game for its art style, graphics and chill, calm theme. When it comes to disapproval, most of the negative reviews focus on problems with co-op play, mostly online. Many people claim to have problems connecting to their friends. Then there are usual problems with Origin Launcher, aka the atrocity that EA uses to play their games. A lot of negative reviews points out problems with just launching the game. For some people, Unravel 2 just won't launch. Thankfully, Steam has its 2-hour game time return policy, so just try out if the game runs properly for you after buying it. There are a couple of reviews pointing out the insignificance of the story. I expected this to happen. When you leave out so much for interpretation, there will be people who will just get lost in the narrative. Other than that, some people found the game to be boring. Well, I played Unravel 2 level solo and at no point did I find it boring. I even found a couple of negative reviews bashing on controls for being unresponsive, which I just cannot agree. The controls are tight. Especially when speedrunning, you can discover how many obstacles you can skip thanks to sheer precise movement. And let me close this segment by saying that I am not berating any of the reviewers. They are entitled to their opinion, same as I am to mine. It's just incredibly interesting to confront my point of view with different opinions. That's all. Okay, achievement section. If you are a completionist or want to max out the game, then oh boy, better get good. So, the first set of achievements is awarded for completing each main level for the first time. Those are the easiest achievements. Another 3 easy achievements are awarded for customizing your Yarny, completing at least one bonus level, and completing any level in co-op. Easy, simple stuff. Then there are 4 trophies awarded for performing activities in specific levels. Survive 5 fish attacks in a row in night swimming level. Jump through a fire pit between 2 moose signs without using directional inputs. You can use directional input before casting rope into the first spot, so you get momentum during the initial jump. Then get some more momentum by falling down, catch a couple of branches and you should have enough speed to be able to do it. Then there are 2 achievements in the last level at Rapids. I am going to show this section, which might be considered spoilerish, so you have been warned. The first one is awarded for jumping through an area between 2 barrels without touching water. It's not a timed achievement, so you just be careful and take it slow. This is the first barrel. This is the last one. The other trophy in this level will be started at this island. You will notice the kids and adults in the background and the table being overturned. Then you just have to simply go back from where you came. At this point, we just need to climb up. This is the point that awards the achievement. So, now we are left with the set of achievements that are awarded for completing each level without dying, and then the achievements awarded for acquiring golden medal in each level. As I said before, golden medal is tied to completing a level in a pretty short time. The time frame is actually very strict. This is where I decided that it's time for speedrunning challenge to start. Before I will tell you more about mine and my wife's speedrunning experiences, there's one last achievement in the game, the one that I just gave up on. It requires to complete every bonus level in one go on a timer. Based on how tight timers are on main levels and how hard some of those bonus levels were, I just decided to skip this one. Okay, speedrun part. First of all, I will show big chunks of the game on various levels which might be spoilerish, so spoiler warning. This footage was recorded over a span of 3 weeks. Some videos have open mic, some don't. Also the volume levels are going to be different, so I apologize for that. We decided to play on a single PC. I played on a controller, yellow Yarny, my wife played on keyboard, green Yarny. Now, I watched on YouTube that it is possible to complete each level solo, however doing it in duo is actually easier. You see, when you are doing things alone, you are playing one Yarny at a time. You need to perform quick skips from one Yarny to another, but you won't be able to save some time on positioning. When you play in co-op, you can do your part and the other player will be already getting into the right position, which saves precious seconds. In a tight time frame, it's extremely beneficial. I was actually astonished at first when I learned how rigorous the timing was. You can make like maybe one mistake. On some levels it's a little bit more free where you can make more blunders, but still you need to be focused and efficient or there are no chances of beating the needed time.
Oh, now I fucked up.
I decided that this stressful experience, full of fails, learning how to get as much time saved in each section, memorizing certain parts of the game, redoing it over and over will be perfect bonding exercise for me and my wife who is more of a casual gamer. Brilliant idea. So the first time we played any level we just did it normally. We just wanted to have fun. Then we did it like 2 additional times in order to memorize it. We did not start a new level until we had acquired the golden medal for the previous one. The first actual level, Hideout. It starts with an unskippable cutscene which already introduces tedium. Each time you restart the level you will be forced to watch it. Time needed for gold medal, 13 minutes. Time we got after first run, 34 minutes, 7 seconds. Best time we've got when memorizing the level, 16 minutes, 39 seconds. So after the first 2 memorizing runs, I already flipped the switch in my mind into speedrun mode. My wife didn't. I had to remind her to keep pressing right direction input during the cutscene, so the moment we were free to move our characters would just run. To be honest, she caught up on that really fast. This was the most rocky level to play because it was our first. In each room or puzzle we always had a certain position or order of doing things assigned to each one of us just to memorize it faster. Also at every moment where 2 players were not needed, we were connecting our Yarnies and I would lead the way. One person doing the more mechanically harder parts reduced the possibility of failing. Also it reduced the clutter on screen. Still, I had my fair share of painful fails. We were slowly progressing, learning how to work out each of the challenges laid in our way. I started to experiment with ways of skipping certain puzzles. But then we discovered a skateboard glitch on YouTube. A glitch which can save up to 5 minutes, which is a massive time save. Naturally, we started to experiment with it. It actually is quite easy to perform, but it's not 100% reliable. I guess if we were pro speedrunners, people who precisely control their every input, then we could get reliable skateboard jumps, but we couldn't. Still, we were able to produce couple of skips, enough to warrant this as staple in our tactic for this level. So, if you want to try out this glitch yourself, you need to position both Yarnies on 2 sides of the skateboard. Then, try to turn the skateboard perpendicularly or close to that position. One Yarny just has to jump on top of it and stay in there, while the Yarny under the skateboard has to pull the rope towards himself and jump at the same time. As I said, it's hard to predict where the skateboard will launch you. Most of the time we flew up in the right direction, but we landed too close, skipping just a small portion of the level. Or we just wasted too much time trying to perform the glitch, so we had to restart. But then, one day, on our first try that day, we had a very nice run. We reached the skateboard and we managed to get a perfect launch.
Co ty tam robisz? Ty robisz jakie kombinacje? Dużo.
Ściągałem skacz.
Czyli S i jump.
This will be good. This will be very good. Chodź we mnie. In me.
To jest wystarczająco?
To jest super daleko. Tak.
The hype was immense, the stakes were raised high, the last part of the level, we got it memorized, we already performed it many times. And this time, we struggled at almost every obstacle. We got tilted so hard. But I knew since we saved 5 minutes, we still had time, so we kept pushing, and we finally got this time. The second level, Little Frogs, was much more pleasant. Our first try was 17:29 and we needed a time under 8 minutes. The hardest segments of that level were the underground log puzzle. We just kept dying there because instead of doing it calmly, we kept rushing through it and the fiery mist kept killing us. And of course the last part of this level, which is the run from Capercaillie. Especially since close to the end there is a jumping segment, where if you mistime your jumps, then the bird will snatch the arnies. But we were able to do it without much problems. Similar issue to the bird chase appeared in the night swimming. Close to the end there is a section with the fish. It's actually not hard to time the jumps correctly, but because it's kinda easy, it gives you this false sense of safety. On many occasions when I thought that the worst is behind us, the fish kept eating us. So be careful. Night swimming is also the level where the run ending block occurs. That's the one I told you about before. If it lands on the plank the wrong way, then it's a massive time loss. After accepting how the process of practicing and failing goes, we made a continuous progress in the next level. This one is in my opinion the most technically demanding. There is a lot of precise movement required, but we managed to get the medal after a couple of days. Unfortunately, for some reason I decided not to record our tries, sorry. Ashes to Ashes is a dramatic level which introduces a lot of timed segments where players are chased by flames. There are branches breaking after touching them, fire on trees reducing your swinging space. There is this underground part with the flame fog enemies chasing you. And in this room, the enemy is placed in a way whereby jumping and climbing you can barely outrun it. It's a close call and it took me many tries to get it right. Just jump into the leaves and climb for half a second and then jump. Do not jump right away after attaching to the leaves. If you will be too fast, then the enemy will continue to chase you after climbing up, which is an unnecessary impediment. Then there is this log. It is burning in one place, so you have to jump over that spot. To be honest, at first I thought it would be a run breaker, but it ended up being just a small nuisance. When we thought that we are on a pace for a personal best, a golden medal, the tragedy struck. We had a perfect run, no mistakes, and close to the end, in a place where we haven't got a single problem before, we messed up hard. I tied knots too slow and Monica, my wife, was too fast with pulling the switches of a mechanism that was supposed to open a way further. It didn't happen. I tried to pull again, to no result. The rope connecting the two elements was too long, so it wasn't lifted properly. When I undid the knots, the way opened up, which is something that we never had to do before, so we were shocked. We tried to salvage the run, but we failed. In order to get a golden medal in Ashes to Ashes, we needed to get a time under 12 minutes. We got 12 minutes, 2 seconds. We tried to restart the level and quickly do it, but we got so tilted that we had to take a break. The next day though, we did it. The last level is in my opinion the easiest one to score a golden medal. The second half of that level is just pure joy and pleasure to play. It gives you a double jump mechanic which replenishes each time Yarny will touch the ground or a wall or will swing a rope. It just allows for so much course correction if you'll mess up. I have to admit, I'm so glad that we decided to do the golden medal challenges together. It was extremely cool to achieve those kinda hard feats with my wife. to blend the more hardcore style of playing games with a casual approach. It was a valuable experience. Unravel 2 is a cute, wonderful, small game. It can be played both solo and in co-op. I would highly recommend playing the game with a spouse or with kids. It could be a great bonding experience. The game is solid, controls feel very responsive and fluid. Swinging on ropes and building momentum while in the air is satisfying. Puzzles are interesting and engaging. Platforming sections might take a couple of tries, but they are perfectly doable. Each challenge is designed both for co-op and solo play, which is great. Players interested in harder challenges can try out bonus levels which offer hard puzzles and very difficult platforming areas. Graphics and music are beautiful and only add to this wonderful experience. The story is a subject open for interpretation. For this reason, some people will completely ignore it, while others might find it endearing. Playing this game with my wife was a fantastic decision. We have not only finished every level, but we also acquired a gold medal for a speedrunning challenge in each level. This was quite a tremendous task, with many fails and arguments, but for every argument we had, the triumph after finally acquiring a gold medal felt more powerful. I am grateful for this experience. We recommend this game. Hey, I wanted to thank every one of you for watching this video. If you liked it, then consider subscribing for more content and leave a like. If you didn't like it, feel free to press thumbs down and let me know what you didn't like. My question to you after this video is, how do you interpret the story of Unravel 2? So that's all from me. Bye.